Hello and welcome back to Gary's Garage, and in this episode I'm going to get the ECU bolted up in place and try to finish off the rest of the wiring. If you were watching last time, you'll have seen that I made a very good start on the wiring and figured out where I'm going to mount my ECU, just up under this bit of panel here. So the first thing to do is get out some cardboard to make up some templates and get this mounted where it needs to go. So that's the ECU casing all bolted up into place. I had to remove the steering column to get access to the rear mount, which is all the way back there. Just about managed to tack it and then took it off and finished zapping it up. So what I can do now is lay the loom back in and try to get some rough lengths for the wires that need to run across from here, where the rest of the cables are going, and down across to the loom. And I also need to cut the holes in the new bulkhead for the connectors that go off to the engine. So I've managed to separate out a few of the wires that need to run off to the ECU and a few others that just head over in this direction, mostly towards the dash. So what I need to do is take these and find the right length for them and get them crimped and inserted into the ECU connector in just the right spot. And to help me here, I'm going to make use of this wiring diagram. Started out from Club VR4, something that my good friend put together that lists all of the pins. I've modified it slightly to suit the Evo 1 to 3 plug-in that I've got, and yes, I'm going to now go through my wires and through this and figure out what's in the loom that I can plug into the ECU now, and then the rest of it will be going off to the various other locations. So just a bit of a progress update. I've now got all those wires I had before hooked up into the ECU, and the next step is going to be the stuff that goes off through the bulkhead on either side and off to the engine. So time for another progress update, and of the connector that goes through the bulkhead here on the driver's side, I now have one spare wire that's still intact and another 4 empty terminals, and I have 2 temperature sensors which need to go into the expansion ports on the ECU, which aren't on the main plugs, and also 2 alternator wires which might go somewhere. The alternator is a smart alternator and has these various control cables, but it is also clever enough that if you disconnect everything, it just charges the battery to about 14.4 volts. But you can, if you want to, hook these up to the ECU and enable and disable the charging. For example, under full load, you might want to disable the alternator to free up that extra half a horsepower on the top of the engine. But I'm probably not going to worry with these unless I can figure out something interesting. The Link ECU does not do anything funky with these. It would have to be custom written tables to enable and disable what's going on, so I might just ignore those and remove them from the plug and give me yet another 2 free connectors. But that is now the driver's side mostly done, other than a couple of cables that disappear down here that need to go in and around the dash area. So it's time to turn my attention to the passenger side, and this is where I'm going to have to wire everything into the new connector from scratch, because every cable needs to be longer. So checking in with another progress update on the never-ending wiring. I have now completed the bulkhead connectors on the passenger side as well as the driver's side I finished earlier, and I've started to piece out the wires that need to go up to the dash. And then I've realised that I also need to do things like the clutch switch and the accelerator pedal. And there's the stuff that goes to the front of the car and the back of the car. It just never ends. But I'm making some progress. Bits are looking tidier, things are starting to go. I've no idea how far off I am at the moment of actually getting power to circuits and, you know, firing up the ECU, for example. But getting there. I shall plod on and I will be back with another progress update shortly. So that is now the ECU basically complete. I have gone through the expansion pins and all of the 3 pins I had and kind of done a bit of reconfiguration. So everything now is going to come out on these connectors and not come out through the expansion connectors loose. What I have done is added 2 CAN bus outputs, so CAN 1 and CAN 2. I've got my USB port and I've got my boost reference feed going in, and that is now everything that needs to go into or out of this ECU. So if all goes well, I should not need to undo this and take the cover off again, which is pretty good. So all I need to do now is put it back in the car and put the various wires into the pins on here for the dash, the temperature sensors, etc. And then it's going to be the stuff that goes off to the front of the car and the stuff that goes to the back of the car. So that has been a lot of wiring, like almost every waking minute it seems like. I swear I've been dreaming about doing this wiring, and it's still not finished, so it'll have to go into the next episode. But I'll give you a quick show of what I've done so far, and that is that the ECU wiring is pretty much complete. Most of the stuff coming down to the dash is here. I've got the pedal, accelerator pedal hooked up, the brake pedal hooked up, a wire there for the clutch as well. I've got my wires that go off to the steering column, the plugs that go sort of in this area up here for heated front screen and hazard switch, and there's the wiper that will go sort of off up behind there somewhere. And over on the other side I've got the front to rear loom here and the one that goes off to the front. All up under there is nice and neat. See, that's going to be tied back up there somehow. And then I have also taken out the front to rear loom and taken all the tape off it in preparation for repinning. And I've also done the same with the loom that goes along the front wheel arch and to the front. Again, I've peeled it back and I'm going to repin it and redo that and try to get rid of some of these joins. So as I said, unfortunately I have run out of time now in order to get this episode out, so I'm going to have to carry this wiring on next time. So join me next time when hopefully I will get the rest of this wiring done. Thanks for watching Gary's Garage. Bye.